Before I begin, I'd like to thank Honorable Robert Kutaya for the invite and the opportunity to speak out on such an important issue, racism. And I will be speaking about my personal experience in both my personal life and in my athletic career. Racism, the belief that groups of people are superior to others just because of the way they look. Assuming you're more talented than someone else just because you're lighter or darker than someone else. It's an issue that's passed down from generation to generation and no one has stopped it. Because we only address racism when it's trending in the news. We share a trendy quote to our social media pages and act like we're doing something. Oh my gosh, I'm saving the world. We do not at least properly educate ourselves about what's going on. And this lack of education about racial diversity is exactly why racism is such a prominent issue today. I'm going to tell you how I realized that being darker is such a defining feature in society's eyes. When I was 7, a kid my age came up to me and said, "I'm going to stab you to death because you're black." At the time I was horrified, but I was also thinking, why is it such a bad thing to be darker? Am I a mistake? Do I even belong here? And at the time, the issue wasn't tackled properly because the teacher simply showed the other kid a black telephone and said, "This is what black is, not her, so don't insult her." As if I was actually that dark, it would be a reason for insult. I wasn't taught that no matter what, I was beautiful. I was taught that I wasn't as dark as I thought, or I didn't belong to the worst of the worst. And obviously, this misinformation has led to even more bullying, which even became physical. And you'd think that as you get older, the education would improve, or at least your peers would be a bit more sensitive and become more accepting of you. The insults, the threats, they didn't stop. And since at the time, this was around secondary school, I was excelling in both school and in sport, people always wanted to find a way to bring me down, and that was using the color of my skin. People wanted to label me. People wanted me to give a label for what I am, as if it was such an important part of my identity. I was born in Canada, my mom is Maltese, and my dad's from Morocco. I'm not black and I'm not white, but I don't know what part of the spectrum I fall in. I'm just darker. Thank you.